BTS is streaming their comeback concert live on Netflix, worldwide. No additional ticket, no Ticketmaster queue. Just open the app and watch. Let that sink in for a second, because that might be the only smooth part of this entire era. See, while Netflix was out here making history, first ever live K-pop comeback concert, directed by the Super Bowl halftime guy, 190 countries, Gwanghwamun Square, 200,000 fans on site. The BTS World Tour was quietly becoming a masterclass in chaos. Resale tickets hitting $7,000, hotels in Korea canceling confirmed reservations, and relisting at 10 times the price. Mexico's president, yes, the actual president, reportedly sending a diplomatic letter asking for more concert dates. Ticketmaster getting slapped with a $288,000 fine, and a fandom that spent 2 years calling for a HYBE boycott opening their wallets faster than anyone expected. So here is my question. BTS just partnered with Netflix to give fans unprecedented global access. So why does everything else around this comeback feel like a stress test? Because after looking at the lawsuits, the government investigations, the hotel price spikes, and the ticketing disasters, I realized something. The problem isn't just one company. It is an entire system that wasn't built to handle demand at this level. Let's break it down. Let me set the stage properly. BTS is releasing their fifth studio album, Rang, on March 20th, their first full group album in nearly 4 years. The very next day, the 21st of March, they're performing a live comeback concert at Gwanghwamun Square in Seoul, streaming exclusively on Netflix across 190 countries. It is directed by Hamish Hamilton, the guy behind most Super Bowl halftime shows since 2010. The concert is scheduled for 1 hour, featuring new tracks and classic hits. Plus, a documentary, BTS, The Return, drops on the 27th of March, giving fans a behind-the-scenes look at the album creation process. That alone would be the biggest K-pop moment of the decade. But then there's the tour, 82 shows across 34 cities, spanning from April 2026 into 2027. North America, Europe, Asia, Latin America, Australia, with hints of Japan and Middle East dates coming later. Every single stop features a 360-degree stage, meaning no bad seats, no blocked sections, maximum capacity at every venue. On paper, this is everything ARMY has been waiting for. In reality, the tour rollout exposed every crack in the live music industry. Because here is the irony, Netflix is democratizing access, giving millions of fans a front-row seat to the comeback without a queue or a credit card battle. Meanwhile, the physical tour has turned into a case study of broken ticketing systems, predatory pricing, and regional frustration. BTS didn't just announce a comeback. They accidentally stress-tested the entire global concert infrastructure. And the results aren't pretty. Let's start with the obvious issue, ticketing. The pre-sale was restricted to ARMY membership holders who registered ahead of time and selected up to 3 cities. This was a new requirement. Previous tours didn't have this limitation, and immediately, problems started. Some fans picked the wrong cities and couldn't change their selection. Others bought memberships but forgot to register. Some wanted to attend more than 3 shows and got locked out of their 4th choice. The system created confusion before a single ticket was even sold. But Mexico City raised serious questions from minute 1. Here are the numbers. Original ticket prices ranged from roughly $100 to $285, depending on seat location. Resale listings started appearing almost immediately. Some fans reported seeing them before the pre-sale technically opened, at prices climbing to $5,000 or higher. Fan surveys from 2 major Mexican fan bases showed only 19 to 20% of ARMY members actually secured tickets during the pre-sale. Every date sold out instantly. So if most fans didn't get them, who did? Ticketmaster's official response? No irregularities occurred, which didn't exactly reassure anyone. But here is where it gets serious. Mexico's Consumer Protection Agency, Profeco, didn't just shrug, they fined Ticketmaster over 5 million Mexican pesos, roughly $288,000, and sent warnings to resale platforms like StubHub and Viagogo for misleading pricing and consumer-unfriendly practices. And this isn't a BTS-specific problem. The US FTC has accused Live Nation and Ticketmaster of enabling brokers to mass buy tickets and profit off the resale ecosystem. Taylor Swift fans sued them. A class action in Quebec is heading to trial. The Department of Justice is actively trying to break the company apart. When a government has to treat concert tickets like a consumer rights emergency, that is not just fandom drama. That is a system failing the people it is supposed to serve. BTS didn't cause Ticketmaster to be broken. Ticketmaster was already broken, but BTS's scale exposes every crack at once. If you thought Ticketmaster was the only one responding aggressively to demand, let me introduce you to what is happening with accommodation. The Busan Metropolitan Government confirmed over 90 official complaints after the tour dates were announced. Hotels were canceling confirmed reservations. Reservations that were already paid for, and relisting the same rooms at significantly higher prices. One guest house that normally charges 70,000 won per night about $49, raised its rate to 600,000 won for the June concert dates. That is roughly 8.5 times the normal price for the exact same room. A fan from Daegu posted online, "If nothing works out, I'll just sleep in my car. That is not a joke. That is a paying customer being priced out of accommodation in their own country." Seoul saw similar spikes ahead of the 21st of March Netflix concert. The Korean hotel near Gwamun Station reportedly went from 225,000 won to 1.35 million won. 6 times the normal rate. Motels in Jongno jumped from 130,000 to 480,000 won overnight. The Four Seasons already sold out at elevated weekend pricing. South Korea's president publicly called this a malicious exploitation that destroys market order and causes serious harm to everyone. When the president of a country is commenting on hotel prices because of a concert, something has gone significantly wrong. Hotels.com reported that searches for Seoul accommodations increased 155% after the tour announcement. Busan searches went even higher, and instead of seeing that as an opportunity to welcome visitors, some businesses saw it as an opportunity to maximize extraction. People keep saying BTS concerts boost the local economy, and they do. But what that actually looks like on the ground is businesses identifying peak demand and pricing accordingly, which, depending on how far it goes, crosses into territory that governments are now investigating. Now let's address something the fandom has been debating internally: the HYBE boycott for over 2 years. A vocal portion of the fandom called for a financial boycott of HYBE. The reasons cited included alleged executive ties to controversial figures, labor concerns, and various company scandals. Fans pledged to stop streaming, stop buying albums, stop purchasing merchandise, and stop attending paid events. And then the tour tickets went on sale. 44 stadium shows, including additional dates added due to demand, sold out in under an hour. The data speaks for itself. Whatever the online sentiment was, the real-world purchasing behavior told a different story. One particularly viral case showed a boycott advocate purchasing tickets to 12 different tour dates. Whether that represents hypocrisy, a genuine change of heart, or simply the power of wanting to see BTS live after years apart, that is for each person to evaluate for themselves. But here is the broader point. There was clearly a significant gap between the loudest online voices and the actual ticket-buying behavior of the fandom. And that gap raises questions about how we measure fan sentiment versus fan action. As one fan put it, "Y'all have a spine as sturdy as a sponge." Others pushed back, arguing that supporting artists and criticizing their company aren't mutually exclusive, which, interestingly, is the same argument some of these fans were dismissing when others made it 6 months ago. I am not here to tell anyone how to spend their money, but when 44 stadium shows sell out within an hour after 2 years of boycott calls, it does make future boycott efforts harder to take at face value. The discourse continues, but the ticket sales already happened. Now let's talk about something fans have been genuinely worried about: the tour schedule itself. Look at this routing. Las Vegas to Busan to Madrid to New Jersey. The schedule zigzags across continents in ways that look exhausting, even on paper. 82 shows, 34 cities, multiple time zones, running from April 2026 into 2027, with some of the most physically demanding choreography in the industry. Fans have raised real concerns about sustainability. One fan posted, with over 80 stops announced, "As much as I pray for concert tickets, we should also pray for BTS's health." Another wrote, "Judging by how odd the route of this tour is, this might be their last world tour for a while. You realistically cannot expect them to go on a tour like this again without them being overwhelmed and overworked." And here's what makes this complicated. The members themselves reportedly asked HYBE to add more cities. They wanted to reach as many fans as possible, which speaks to their dedication and their genuine desire to connect with ARMY worldwide. But dedication and sustainability don't always overlap. The members just completed military service. They're coming back to the most ambitious tour of their careers, I hope. And I think most fans hope that there are genuine safeguards in place. Rest days built into the schedule, medical support at every stop, the ability to adjust if something isn't working, because no record-breaking tour is worth long-term health consequences. No sold-out stadium is worth burnout. This isn't about questioning the members' choices. It is about recognizing that an 82-show global tour is unprecedented in scale, and unprecedented often comes with unprecedented challenges. And this brings us back to Netflix, because suddenly the streaming partnership looks really interesting in context. The 21st of March, Gwanghwamun Square, 200,000 fans on location, millions more watching live across 190 countries. Directed by the guy who does the Super Bowl, an hour of new music and classic hits, followed by a documentary a week later. No Ticketmaster queue, no $5,000 resale listing, no hotel price spike for viewers at home, just open Netflix and watch. From a fan access perspective, this is genuinely groundbreaking. Fans who couldn't get tickets, couldn't afford travel, or couldn't leave their responsibilities can still experience the comeback live. That matters. That is real, and it raises an interesting question for the industry. If a global-scale concert experience can be delivered through streaming, without the ticketing chaos, without the accommodation gouging, without the geographic lottery, does that change how we think about live music access? It doesn't have to be cynical. Netflix gets content, HYBE gets reach, fans get access. The physical tour still exists for those who want the in-person experience. But for everyone else, this might actually be the model. A way to include fans who've been priced out, locked out, or simply live in regions that tours don't reach. No K-pop group, arguably no musical act of this scale, has done a comeback event like this on a streaming platform. If it works, every major artist after BTS will have to answer, why aren't you doing the same? Netflix didn't just partner with BTS. They might have accidentally shown what inclusive fan access could look like. So here is the full picture. Netflix is streaming the comeback concert to 190 countries. Fans who couldn't get physical tickets can still experience the moment live. That is unprecedented access. At the same time, the tour rollout exposed serious cracks in the system. Ticketmaster's process left fans frustrated and resellers enriched. Hotels saw demand and raised prices to levels that priced out the very fans creating that demand. The boycott discourse revealed a gap between online rhetoric and real-world behavior. And the schedule has fans genuinely worried about sustainability. BTS didn't create these problems, but BTS at this scale puts a spotlight on every one of them. And here's what gives me some hope. Korea is moving toward real anti-scalping legislation with penalties up to 50 times the original ticket price. Mexico's Consumer Protection Agency is actively investigating Ticketmaster and resale platforms. Governments are treating this as a legitimate consumer rights issue, not just fandom noise. That matters. Because if the biggest tour on Earth can't force the industry to change, nothing will. 82 shows. 34 cities. 44 stadium dates already sold out, records broken before a single note has been played. The chaos is real, the concerns are valid, the system needs to change. But BTS is still selling out the world, and they've never needed a perfect system to prove what they're capable of. I want to know what you think. Did you get tickets? Are you watching on Netflix? What is your take on the tour rollout? Drop everything in the comments. I read them. If you are new here, I make videos breaking down K-pop news, industry trends, and cultural moments. Subscribe if that sounds interesting. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.